What's up, y'all? I'm your host, Lil T.
And I'm Daggz.
Hey guys, I'm Mr. Springs.
And I'm Jay, the guy not recording lines but helping write the script.
I'm sure most of you are familiar with iceberg charts, and you have probably heard of the newest FNAF game, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, so I'm not going to spend too much time on an intro. This is also a collab iceberg. Some of you might know me from my Mario iceberg, and more famously, my Five Nights at Freddy's iceberg. Daggz has made numerous icebergs, including the Walton Files iceberg. Mr. Springs makes numerous videos on FNAF and is regarded as a security breach expert, and Jay is a great writer and will be making videos of his own in the near future. And one last obvious thing, spoilers ahead. So if you haven't played Security Breach, I recommend you click off. With all that being said, let's just get into the iceberg. Delays. This refers to the handful of delays Security Breach received close to its release date. It was slated for a 2020 release, which was then pushed to early 2021, and then was finally slated for a final release date of December 16th, 2021. Gregory Memes. This refers to the many Security Breach memes out there relating to Gregory, like the Vent meme, the What You Looking Crazy For meme, Terrible Job Super Shit, and others. These memes have become so popular that even Kellen Goff, voice actor for Glamrock Freddy and most famously Funtime Freddy, has made his own version of the Have You Heard of Among Us meme.
Have you ever heard of an iceberg, Gregory?
Security alert. This refers to a line spoken by the daycare attendant, primarily at the daycare. Security alert! Security alert! It causes the same effect when running into a S.T.A.F.F bot, that being invoking the animatronics so they can chase you down. It's become an inside joke in the FNAF community and has been the spawn for many memes. Gallery. The gallery is a room hidden within the game files which lets you admire the many characters of Security Breach one by one. There's no real reason as to why it's there, other than letting the player admire the glams in all their glory, but it's a very cool addition regardless of anything.
If it was in the game.
Bugs/glitches. If there's one thing Security Breach is known for, it's a community with a robot fetish. And it also has glitches or something, I don't know. Here's some of them, because if we did all of them, we'd be here for 2.5 hours with 4 ad breaks. Deloading the map by jumping while climbing into Freddy. Animatronics embodying their teleportation skills. Jumping on the table and the robot dudes just don't see you. Freddy opening doors that aren't supposed to open. Causing Unreal 4 engine to crash after triggering the daycare cutscene with Freddy. Freddy swiping at Monty fences that he's already torn down. Dialogue just straight up not matching the captions.
Great! How do I use it?
Giga Monty, not being able to enter or exit Freddy. Gregory pulling off the Michael Jackson lean. The Princess Quest arcade games just not working on the PS5 version, which is really frustrating as they're necessary for the true ending. Opening the math in the golf arcade game can break the game visually. After the Showtime mission when you need to go into the charging booth to trigger the cutscenes, sometimes the prompt won't show up soft locking the save file. During the regular ending credits, you can call Freddy and climb into him. If you accidentally save when an animatronic is near you, it can trap you in an endless death cycle. Gregory's eyes and mirrors can disappear, leaving a navy blue void. And that's not even scratching the surface. Statues. This refers to the statues released in anticipation for Security Breach. They are 12-inch figurines made by Funko and were released on May 11, 2021. One shows Gregory inside Glamrock Freddy with Vanny in close pursuit. The other shows Vanny on the hunt with Vanessa not too far behind. Multiple endings. Security Breach has a total of 6 different endings. There's the
I always come back
ending, the good ending, the bad ending, the rooftop ending, the disassemble Vanny ending, and the best ending. This entry refers to how many there are and how different they are. Although they are different, the only ending that truly matters is the canon ending, and is what officially happens after beating the game. Freddy and Friends. This refers to a series of videos uploaded to YouTube by Steel Wool. They show old episodes of a show called Freddy and Friends on Tour, where Freddy, Bonnie, Chica get into some wacky hijinks, primarily caused by Foxy, who then is caught and his head is pulled off, revealing an endo underneath, similar to the endings of old Scooby-Doo episodes. Then they perform a little song ending off with static at some kind of reveal. This was a very clever way of teasing things from the game. Speedruns. This refers to the many speedruns and speedrun routes that exist for Security Breach. There are 10-minute runs, 5-minute runs, 3-minute runs, and glitchless runs.
Ha! Glitchless runs? Will you be here all week?
Fury's Rage. After Security Breach faced another delay, Scott wanted to apologize to fans by releasing an arcade-style beat-em-up game called Fury's Rage. In each level, the player can choose to play as Freddy, Monty, Roxanne, or Chica, each with their unique set of stats. The player must complete the level by defeating all of the adversaries. The player can jump, attack, block, and jump attack, as well as use one of the mini Anim Dudes to create Anim Dude. When you defeat an enemy, you may receive random items such as coins and jewels, which give you extra EXP, food, which heals you, and mini anim dudes, which create more anim dudes. Each level has a boss to encounter at the conclusion. Beating them will complete the level and advance the player to the next. Steel Wool Interview. This refers to an interview Dawko did with Jaden Topolowski and Ray McCaffrey of Steel Wool. Here's a rundown of some of the things that we found out about during the interview. It took Ray McCaffrey, executive producer, 2 days to fully grasp the size and layout of the Pizzaplex. Sun/Moo is the daycare attendant of the Pizzaplex. The game would be 1 night long with more than 5 hours. There are no plans for multiplayer, however Flashlight Freeze, a scrap multiplayer mode from Help Wanted, has been explained. DLC in 2022 is very likely. The game will have multiple choices and endings, which are influenced by said choices. The game is about 10 times as big as it was intended to be, and a producer who has worked on Mortal Kombat said they prefer Security Breach over Mortal Kombat. Glitchtrap might make a comeback. People who have played close attention to the cartoons have already been playing the game. The Easter eggs in the game were given to them by Scott. A 100% playthrough of the game will take much longer than 4.5 hours. After being asked for one final teaser word to get people hyped up for the game, Steel Wool replied with
schematics.
Mini Music Man. Lil DJ Music Man, otherwise known as Mini Music Man, is exactly what he sounds like. A smaller version of the DJ Music Man. He appears in the vents and is one of the first animatronics you encounter. He chases you down the vent system and you must slide to escape from him. Fun fact, he and Glamrock Endo are the only characters to not appear in any teasers or trailers for the game. Funko Leaks. This refers to the many leaks that toy manufacturing company Funko has caused. They released a calendar for 2021 back in April, calling the game Pizzaplex. Scott was upset by this leak since they didn't use finished designs for the characters and called the game by the wrong name. In spite of this violation, he continued to allow Funko to create FNAF merchandise. However, in June 2020, Funko took to Twitter to showcase the new collectible figures for the at the time upcoming game. However, many fans were upset by this due to the company going outside of Scott and Steel Wool's wishes to release this information on his schedule. Many thought Scott would have pulled Funko's merch license away due to Scott telling the FNAF subreddit that things will be happening very, very differently going forward. However, nothing ended up ever becoming of this. Cut content. If there's two things Security Breach is known for, it's a community with a robot fetish and its glitches. I'm not going to do the same joke again. There's cut content. Here's some of it, because we talked about all of it, we would be here for 4.5 hours with 8 ad breaks. All of the endings are supposed to be CGI, but were cut due to time constraints, and some were shown in a comic style. We know this because of cut voice lines from every ending.
You can no longer hide from me. I have new eyes.
There was going to be a boss battle in Roxy Raceway against the Wolf Lad herself. A bare-bones bully minigame can be found in Bonnie Bowl with very few polished features, suggesting it was cut early in development. Frozen Glamrock Endo. In the files, there are several hallways that allow the player to traverse between parts of the Mega Pizzaplex. The level 10 security doors were utilized to access these utilidors, which were currently disused. These doors would connect Rockstar Row with Roxy Raceway, Roxy Raceway with Faster Blast, and the Superstar Daycare with Monty's Gator Golf. Unused staff bots. Yellow Staff Bot, Magician Staff Bot, Nanny Staff Bot, Server Staff Bot, and Mime Staff Bot. An extended version of Monty Golf Arcade includes double the golf holes and improved lighting on many of the existing holes. It appears in a better state than the currently released version of the minigame. Most of the stuff in this trailer, the static room, the elevator, the staff room, the room with the red lights, the animatronics with red eyes, so much of this game was cut, but Vanessa Tapes. There are 16 secret audio recordings for Vanessa that can be found throughout the Pizzaplex. These recordings provide some interesting information that expands Vanessa's backstory and her motivations as Vanny under Glitchtrap control. She speaks with numerous therapists about what happens in her life. Every time one of her therapists starts trying to actually get more information about her or anything to do with Glitchtrap, she gets a new therapist. It's speculated that Glitchtrap kills her previous therapist before they can get anywhere with helping her. Roxy's ego. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Roxy has a huge ego, with her being introduced via Gregory finding her, giving her a pep talk. Her dialogue also constantly involves her calling herself beautiful, that she's the best, and that catching Gregory first will affect that. Broken Vanny meter rumor. According to the debug menu, there is a Vanny meter in which she would spawn when this meter was filled up. People thought this meter was just glitched in the final game, explaining how little she actually appeared in it. However, the meter was actually a leftover of a larger feature from the game that was cut in the summer of 2021. This is your final spoiler alert. Alright? Okay. Burntrap. Burntrap is the final boss of the Afton ending, and the last remains of William Afton's physical body after the events of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. After destroying each of the Glamrock animatronics that had been hunting him throughout the night, Gregory and Freddy gain access to a mysterious tunnel underneath the Roxy Raceway. They discover a buried pizzeria called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place, heavily damaged by time and fire. A cutscene shows Burntrap awakening and emerging from a purple recharge station on the other side of the building, before placing his hand on a monitor viewing Freddy and begins to take control of him. He looks like Springtrap and Scraptrap, however his suit is much more torn and has a real skull showing. Does he look better than Springtrap? In my opinion, no. Does he look better than Scrap? I don't even have to finish that. You know he does. Despite a line of dialogue in the trailer clearly coming from some form of William Afton, Burntrap never speaks throughout his entire encounter. I'm not gonna go on a rant about how much I despise Burntrap for everything he represents. They just brought him back for this dumb, uncanon ending, which totally undermines FNAF 6. It's terrible. The goongalar. I'm not talking about this, look it up if you will. The Blob. The Blob is a massive pile of black mass made up of tentacle-like wires and seemed to be built from past animatronics from the franchise, judging by the many faces and bodies of characters scattered throughout the Blob's body. The body is thought to be a representation of the never-ending hatred that Cassidy has toward William, that has stayed in the physical world to hunt him forever. I don't understand. Molten Freddy is kind of excusable because maybe his face was made of garbage, so that's why it's Funtime Freddy's head. But why is Baby's head just here? Like, Scrap Baby is confirmed to be Baby's head. Why does it look different? DLC. This refers to how Security Breach is definitely getting DLC. Steelwool has confirmed it, and we're all kind of expecting it because this game feels unfinished. I'm also not going to go on a tangent about how much I hate it when games like Mario Golf Super Rush release an incomplete game and then DLC later on. Leaked concept art. This refers to how there have been leaks of concept art from Security Breach. This calendar, which showed off really early concept art, which we already discussed, a poster by Trends International before the game came out, and art that has come out after the game was released. Censorship. A lot of Security Breach ended up being censored. I don't just say removed, I mean censored. Maybe they were removed to keep the game's low rating for kids. If so, that's stupid. The three main examples of the obvious censorship is the sudden removal of Vanny's knife, which was a part of her official design that even made it into her action figure, mind you. Unused subtitles where Freddy notices how Gregory got a cut on his knee and was bleeding after going through the vent and takes him to the first aid, which was changed instead to the strange abrupt "you are broken" line. And finally, the kids that Vanny probably killed are instead constantly labeled as disappearances. Plus the possible scrapped intro to the game where Gregory witnesses Vanny killing his friends, with Vanny trying to reassure him it was just a glitch, judging from the first trailer. When you think about it, it's the fans who have made FNAF much more frightening. Squimpus McGrimpus' interpretation of Purple Guy, for example. Scott's Purple Guy pales in comparison to his. What if due to censorship laws and such, Steelwool and Scott are unable to fully use the premise's terrifying potential, which results in the community who's used to dark concept being disappointed by censorship? Keep in mind, the actual FNAF games weren't that scary. There was no gore or blood, and if there was, it was in minigame form, which he's allowed up to interpretation. It's a topic to chew on, which would make a good video on it someday. Bad camera. This refers to how the cameras in Security Breach just don't make sense. The views from the cameras run at like 15 frames per second, which I guess is okay, but there are no shadows! That is not how cameras work! You don't just lose shadows! You lose clarity! I don't want to rag on this for too long because I'm going to annoy myself, but it just doesn't make sense. Glamrock Bonnie. This refers to how there was a Glamrock Bonnie animatronic. There's Bonnie Bowl, which may be based on Glamrock Bonnie, but could also just be based on the character Bonnie. When you go to an out-of-order curtain in Bonnie Bowl with Freddy, he will say how much he misses him, which could be in reference to Glamrock Bonnie. There are also these messages about Bonnie going into Monty Golf, which we'll get into more later. True ending location is Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. In the final part of the game, the pizzeria you discover is actually the establishment you make in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. The chairs, stage with the lights, floor, are all the same. This would also explain why Afton is just there, sorta. Michael Afton Room. In the game, there exists a replica of Michael Afton's living room from Sister Location. Why it's here, besides a little Easter egg, which we'll get to later, is basically unknown. Princess Quest. Princess Quest is an in-universe video game franchise that appeared in both the mobile port of Help Wanted and Security Breach. In the Help Wanted mobile port, the minigame can be accessed from the Freddy Fazbear Virtual Experience's main hub room. Occasionally, a grid pattern will appear on the object of the prize counter. To unlock the game, the player must zoom in on one of these glitching objects. Afterward, the screen will fade to black and fade back to the level select screen, with everything unlocked, along with Princess Quest shown on the right monitor. In Security Breach, Princess Quest returns with its 2 new sequels, with the first remaining the same with only slight adjustments to the sprite art. The other 2 are completely unique and introduce new mechanics. Beating all 3 will grant the player a secret ending in which Gregory frees Vanny of Glitchtrap's control. The first game can be found in a storage closet at the Glamrock Beauty Salon. The second can be found in DJ Music Man's basement at the Fazcade. The third and final game can be found in Fazbear Blast, inside Vanny's secret room, which can only be accessed after winning a game of Fazbear Blast and receiving a Fazbear Blast gun. Stupid AI. This refers to how the AI in Security Breach is just plain dookie. The animatronics will get stuck, they will disappear, and worst of all, if you jump on any table or elevated surface, they won't get you. In fact, it'll be like you just disappeared. They will, no joke, just walk away. As sad as it is, this shows how rushed the game is, as the AI in this game is... it's bad, guys. Help Wanted Mall Teaser. In Help Wanted, you can access a snowy area with a large building being built. There's also a billboard nearby that says coming soon with the Fazbear Entertainment logo. This was most likely an early tease of the Pizzaplex being built. White Woman Jumpscare Meme. It's Vanessa jumpscaring you with the text White Woman Jumpscare. Nothing else. Wall code. This is a long one and belongs in Michael Afton's room. The code on the wall is essentially a square of black triangles with various lines coming off, each one in a different arrangement. Players could tell that this wasn't just an ordinary piece of wall art, and it didn't take long before fans started to get to work. Fans discovered that the Freddy and Friends cartoons were the key to unlocking the code. During the cartoons, a glitch would occur. If the video was paused during this glitch, a small series of words could be found in one of the corners of the screen. Some of these words were direct and fairly clear, like Alpha Z, 6 groups, which confirmed that the alphabet needed to be split into 6 groups. However, some were a little more tricky, with letters appearing in different areas of the screen, and not having an immediately clear relevance to the code. After all the words were found and the alphabet was switched, reversed, and reshuffled, a new alphabet code was revealed. Now, this new alphabet code needed to be matched to the triangle pattern. This was done through a series of pigpen ciphers, which organizes letters into a hexagonal pattern, with each letter taking up a triangle piece of the hexagon. The final translated code reads, "Break and mend, I built the breath. They hunt now, drawn to life. Not real, still keen, and frit and fraught with thought and zest, and guess no blunt woes. Dodge, duck, flash, shoot, crawl, run, crush the vile band. Cry not, try not, do not hold out. Hope no. Your life, your aim will save those with soul." Currently, there are a few theories floating around regarding who left the message, but the one some people are considering to be likely is the spirit of Michael Afton himself, and that he is inside Glamrock Freddy. They think this because Freddy helps the player throughout the game, glitching in and out of his security protocols, and at one point in the game expresses that he is not him, inferring there may be a spirit inside of him. Mapbot Jump.
Hi, please take this map.
If you walk near a Mapbot, it'll jump scare you. It also might even jump scare you out of nowhere. Some call this the most effective scare in the game due to its unexpectedness.
Fredbear posters. Hidden around the Pizzaplex, you can find 4 different Fredbear's Family Diner posters. The first one is a basic one of Fredbear with some pizza, and notably he looks a lot like an actual bear. The second poster is of Spring Bonnie, who notably looks like Glitchtrap mixed with Bonnie from the Freddy and Friends show. Then there's another poster of Fredbear holding a phone advertising a delivery service for the diner. Then the final poster is what looks like a vintage cartoon called Fredbear's Singing Show. Glamrock Bonnie's guitar. In Rockstar Row, the starting area of Security Breach, you can see a glass display case with a star-shaped guitar in it. A lot of people believe this is Glamrock Bonnie's guitar, but if they had a brainstem, they would realize that this is just Glamrock Chica's guitar. Chica and Roxy thirsting. There is a subsection of the FNAF community dedicated to, worshipping these characters from Security Breach, and, I don't think I need to go much more in depth, but I will say that Roxanne sucks, and I love Chica. Balloon Boy Minigame. After using your Fazcam to make the eyes glow on all 4 of the pirate cutouts, you can enter through this Captain Foxy's Pirate Adventure poster in the daycare theater that leads you to the daycare attendant's room. In the daycare attendant's room, you can find a 16-bit Balloon Boy themed minigame with the Sun and Moon characters in there as well. And you can glitch this minigame to get a weird glitch trap type thing happen. I'm not really sure what it really means, but it is there, and it's pretty cool. The Joy of Creation references. The Joy of Creation is one of the most popular FNAF fan games. I'm pretty sure most people have heard about it, but basically, to sum it up, the animatronics are trying to break into your house, and you are Scott Cawthon. On one of the arcade machines in the Pizzaplex, you can see Ignited Freddy and Ignited Bonnie from the Joy of Creation, just straight up. It's literally just them. And I think that's really cool that they put fan characters in the game. I think that's really neat. There's also a section in the basement of the Pizzaplex where there are endoskeletons that have very similar mechanics to endoskeletons in the basement of the Joy of Creation. So I think it's a pretty safe bet that Steel probably got some inspiration there, and their credit was through the arcade machines. Afton ending glitch. In the Afton ending, once you get to the stage with Roxy, instead of getting inside of Freddy and making the noise to scare Roxy away, you can instead of hide behind this bed thing. Doing this allows you to beat the rest of the boss battles super easily without even having to progress to the stage where the Blob attacks you. Pizzaplex Murders. In Security Breach, we learned that there have been some disappearances at the Pizzaplex. We don't have an exact kill count from Vanny, but we know that she killed at least 9 kids, which I'd say is pretty radical. Secret CDs. After you've upgraded Freddy with Roxy's eyes, he gains the ability to see these hidden CDs hidden around the Pizzaplex. You can take these CDs to a room that looks suspiciously like Michael Afton's living room from Sister Location, and you can put in these little CDs into a CD player on the wall, and it lets you listen to therapy sessions between Vanessa and some unnamed therapists. Gregory is a robot. This fan theory, popularized by MatPat, is basically saying that Gregory is a robotic clone of the crying child from FNAF 4. The evidence towards this is basically them having similar hair and similar clothes, and a bunch of other weird connections that I'm not going to go into full detail about. Personally, I don't really believe this theory since it's kind of like their personalities don't really line up at all, but it is interesting and I think it's worth talking about. Staffbot Afton Room. Hidden in the Pizzaplex, you can find a room full of dressed up staff bots, and they're all standing in for what seems to be the Afton family. You have a quite fancy looking one that's supposed to be William, one with its head ripped off, which is supposed to be the bite victim, one that looks like Baby, which is obviously Elizabeth, one that looks like Ballora, which is Afton's wife, and this average dude looking one that's supposed to be Michael Afton. Level 10 security doors. In Security Breach, you can find level 10 and even level 12 security doors hidden around the Pizzaplex, despite your character only being able to get up to a level 8 security pass. However, you can cheat and use Freddy to open these doors. FNAF AR leaks. A while back, there were some leaks for FNAF AR that revealed some pretty major lore regarding Security Breach, mainly about Vanny. But considering the fact that Vanny was barely in the game, none of this lore actually ended up mattering. Gregory lives at the Pizzaplex. So basically, this is a theory that Gregory lives inside the Pizzaplex because of this little hideout that's in Kids Cove. And behind the pirate ship, if you look underneath it, you can find this little hideout, and it kind of looks like someone's been living there. It's got a little TV and stuff, clothes, you know, it looks like someone could have been living there. There's also a little hideout above the daycare that looks like someone's been living there. So it leads me to believe that, or a lot of other people, that Gregory could have been living in the Pizzaplex before he got found by Vanessa and ended up hiding inside of Freddy. Help wanted rooms. After getting Monty's claws, if you take Freddy back to the utility tunnels under the Pizzaplex, you can actually open up all the Monty gates that were there before, and they all reveal different rooms from Help Wanted, including an empty Build-A-Mangle room with Staffbot parts, the Curse of Dreadbear hub, and the Plush Baby minigame. Glamrock Freddy is Michael Afton. This theory is directly linked to the Gregory is a robot theory. Basically what it entails is that Glamrock Freddy has the spirit of Michael Afton inside of him, and that's what's causing him to malfunction and protect Gregory. So, it's an interesting theory for sure. I don't personally believe it, but hey, it is worth talking about, just like the other one. Sandwiching Around. Sandwiching Around is a popular FNAF SFM creator, and they primarily make FNAF memes, and most recently they have had some extremely popular Security Breach memes, and I think you should go check them out, they're pretty funny.
Gregory.
dancing animation. S.T.A.F.F will release these NFTs that weren't actually NFTs of the Glamrock animatronic plushies dancing. Let's go over them. We got Chica doing a head spin, Roxy just hitting a jig, Monty being a great breakdancer, and then we got...
I'm Michael Jackson. I'm Freddy Fazbear's Not My Lover.
Mini Golf debug menu. In the Mini Golf arcade machine found in Monty Golf, there is a debug menu that is just still there in the thing. It's unknown if this is intentional or not, but it definitely doesn't look intentional. If it is, that's kind of strange that they left the debug menu in there. But like, hey, I guess it's kind of cool. I don't know, it's a freaking debug menu, I don't know. Sticky note codes. There's some sticky notes in the sewers that have like these weird combination binary stuff, but it is there on the sticky notes and it means nothing to my knowledge. I haven't really seen anybody properly decode it, but who knows. Incorrect release time. After the final gameplay trailer for Security Breach was unveiled, a post on PlayStation.com stated that the game would release at 3 AM on December 16th. This didn't end up happening, and the game ended up being delayed until 7 PM on December 16th, which means that they were probably working on this game right up until it launched, which is kind of scary to think about, and it really shows how rushed this game really was. Security Breach craftables. Just recently, Just Toys released these Security Breach craftable figures. They're little McDonald's toys looking things. They're $10 each, you know, pretty reasonable price for a McDonald's toy, I'd say. And basically, you open them, you put them together, and you get a little stage with a FNAF Security Breach character. You can get Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Roxanne Wolf, Montgomery Gator, and Vanny, which is a 1 in 24 rare character. And if you collect the 4 Glamrocks, you can connect their stages into one big stage. They're pretty bad though, so I don't know. SecurityBreachTV.com. SecurityBreachTV.com is a website created for FNAF Security Breach before launch that unveiled 4 different cartoons that were related to Freddy and the gang going on tour, and it was called Freddy and Friends on Tour. It's pretty cool, they're full of all little Security Breach teasers and stuff. But then after the final episode of Freddy and Friends on Tour was released, this website was just kind of abandoned. But I mean, it's still there, you can still go to it. It's pretty barren now because there's nothing really new to do, but like, it's still there. Cut out glowing eyes. I already touched upon this in my Balloon Boy minigame section, but to sum it back up, there's these 4 different cutouts in around the Pizzaplex: Pirate Foxy, Pirate Bonnie, Pirate Freddy, and Mermaid Chica. Once you flash all their eyes, they will all glow white, and then you can open up this poster, which is actually not a poster, it's a door that's inside the daycare theater, and then you can make your way to the daycare attendant's room, where you can find the little Balloon Boy minigame. Sun knows about Moon. Not sure why this is an entry, I feel like it's pretty obvious, but the Sun character knows that he turns into the moon when the lights turn off, because he tells you not to turn the lights off, and he's clearly aware that the moon exists. I don't know why this is even an entry, it's such a little minuscule thing. Lil T, can you why? Animatronics getting dirty. As soft as this entry may sound, it's actually not that weird. I mean, it is, but like, the animatronics slowly get more and more like filthy as the game goes on. Freddy, you definitely notice, because he's with you the whole game, he gets like disgustingly dirty by the end of the game. He has like burn marks on him. And it's like, how does this happen? It's never explained why this happens. It makes sense for Chica, because she digs through the trash and stuff. But what about Roxy or Monty or Freddy? Why do they get dirty? It doesn't make sense. And why are there like ash and like burn marks on them and like cracks everywhere? And especially with the fact that this game takes place over the course of 6 hours? Like, what? Tales from the Pizzaplex. This is a new book series being created to succeed the Fazbear Frights series, but it's in the Pizzaplex, so that's interesting, you know? More Pizzaplex lore. Please give me it. There wasn't enough in the actual Pizzaplex. Freddy's existential crisis. After beating the game, if you take Freddy into the parts and service area with all the endoskeletons, or where the endoskeletons used to be, I mean, they're still there, but they're deactivated, but whatever. Freddy basically questions his whole existence.
I have never been allowed in here before. This must be where I was born. Look at all the endos. They're all the same. Have I always been a Freddy? Am I Monty with a different shell? What if I am not the first Glamrock Freddy? Are there more of me at other pizzerias? Do we all feel the same? Am I special? If I am mass-produced, am I still art?
I don't know, I'm just a kid. Maybe we should get you out of here. I don't think it's good for your programming.
It's kind of devastating to watch. Very sad. Burntrap Laughing. In Burntrap's boss battle, you can hear some laughing audio from him, and it's very faintly, and it's like barely even audible in the actual game. But he has two voices. One that sounds like a younger William, kind of, maybe his spirit coming through, and then another one that sounds like a demon. So, I'm assuming that's a mixture of Glitchtrap and William's soul, which are the same thing, but, you know, they're fused together. It's confusing. William's soul kind of split up, then it came back together for Burntrap. But you get the picture. Burntrap has some scrapped audio lines that give a lot more insight into what he is, which I think is pretty cool. Monty killed Bonnie. It's a very commonly believed fan theory that Montgomery Gator was the reason why Glamrock Bonnie went out of commission. This is supported through some emails from the last night Bonnie was ever seen that show that the last place he went before he got decommissioned was Monty Golf. Some more evidence to support this would be a drawing of Monty in the kitchen offices, where you can see a picture of a bunny wearing some star-shaped sunglasses. Which, to me, this implies that Monty killed Bonnie, or at least attacked him, and then stole his sunglasses and became the new bass guitar player. Or Monty could have also been the one to replace him in the band, so he took his glasses. Maybe Monty didn't decommission Bonnie, but I feel like he's definitely the biggest suspect to who would have done it. The second biggest suspect would probably be Vanny, to rebuild Springtrap and stuff.
Glamrock Mr. Hippo. Glamrock Mr. Hippo is a character that you can see after getting the 2 stars ending where you escape with Freddy in the car. After this, we can see that Monty is now the leader of the band, with a new Glamrock Mr. Hippo animatronic pictured with a triangle. Pretty funny considering Mr. Hippo's character. Unofficial Security Breach NFTs. I won't dwell on this for too long, but there have been many listings for unofficial Security Breach NFTs popping up on multiple NFT websites about the permission of Steelwool. Luckily though, judging by the bad reception NFTs have gotten in the past months with people like the developers of Poppy Playtime trying to make lore NFTs, as well as Scott saying in a Reddit post that he has no plans for FNAF NFTs, it's safe to assume that no official Security Breach NFTs will release. Hopefully. Level 12 doors. Just like with the level 10 doors earlier, there are also very few level 12 doors that you can see around the mall. People have found a way to get inside of these, and doing so just brings you out of bounds. Will this possibly be DLC in the future? Only time can tell. Vlad and Clara drawing. Some people have been theorizing that this drawing right here is supposed to be a fun nod to the show that Michael Afton watches in Sister Location, but I honestly see this as a bit of a stretch. It's possible, but I won't say it's anything but a cheeky reference. Roxy cult. Gregory, I need to get the past the Roxy's OnlyFans, Gregory. You need to find it for me, Gregory. Gregory, do it right now, Gregory. You need it to escape. Moondrop foreshadowing. In the Curse of Dreadbear DLC for Help Wanted, one of the candies that was added was a Moondrop, the candy that is shown advertised throughout the Pizzaplex. This is obviously in reference to the character Moon, or the daycare attendant, as this is their associated candy. Phaser debate. The pronunciation of the Phaser Blast laser tag course has been brought up by a couple of people several times now. The spelling of the course is F-A-Z-E-R, but if it were properly said, it should sound like Phaser Blast. We know that it's Phaser Blast because that's how Freddy says it.
Correct. Phaser Blast, Monty Golf, Roxy Raceway.
But I'm still in the opinion that they should have added another Z. Glamrock Foxy. I mean, it's possible that a Glamrock Foxy could have existed at some point, but I think from the beginning there was plans to have Roxy to replace Foxy. Unlike the implied existence of Glamrock Bonnie, there seems to be no evidence that there was ever a Glamrock Foxy at any time. Glam Bullies. I think this is meant to build off that one new MatPat theory. Apparently, not only is Glamrock Freddy Michael Afton, but apparently all of the bullies from FNAF 4 are each representing a Glamrock animatronic. I don't know, this one just kind of feels like malarkey to me. I already don't like the new MatPat theory, but this just goes to a whole nother level. Fazbear Pizzaplex recycles pizza. There is an email that you can find that states that the Pizzaplex recycles pizza for further use. This is obviously a joke about the Chuck E. Cheese rumor from a while back, but personally I like to see it as a nod to Day Shift at Freddy's. The mall was originally 2 floors. This one is pretty self-explanatory. In the Doggo interview that we talked about a while back, we can hear more confirmation that the Pizzaplex just got larger over time. The mall expanded from 2 floors to another 4 if I recall correctly. 2 Vanessas. So, I think this theory was all debunked because of tapes that were found, but with a lot of hints and promotional art and merch, there was a lot of evidence going towards Vanessa and Vanny being 2 different people. And a lot for the contrary, too. This could also be referring to Vanessa's eye color being changed from green to yellow, which I guess people can think means that they are 2 different Vanessas. Look, I know this game series has so many weird lore secrets, but come on guys. Her model was just updated during development. Sentient animatronics. Well, this concept is certainly not new for the series, as it's been a thing since the first game. But the thing that's really interesting about the Glamrock animatronics sentience is the fact that it's most likely built off their artificial intelligence rather than spirits. We know that this game takes place in the 2030s at the absolute earliest, so the idea of the animatronics being sentient because of advanced technology isn't that far-fetched, for this universe at least. We gotta remember that animatronics walking was a thing since the 1980s, so the technology in the series was already very advanced. Roxy HUD in the game files. This one is very interesting actually. Data miners have found this image of Roxy's HUD in the game files, which can indicate that either at one point this is going to be used as a HUD for Roxy's eyes, or there may have been a POV shot cutscene where we can see through Roxy's eyes. Who knows, maybe at one point in development you are also able to pilot Roxy as well. This one will probably remain unanswered and is one of the many examples of cut content for this game. Someone should tell Tetrabit Gaming about this one for a Lost Bits episode of Security Breach. Blob's head is Cassidy. I mean, possibly? It would make a lot of sense if so, but personally I think the Blob is the souls of the children who have been murdered in the Pizzaplex particularly. I think it's possible that maybe the main spirit in the collection could have been Cassidy, but we don't really have any substantial evidence for that as of yet, and time can only tell really. Gregory is one of the missing children. Gregory obviously doesn't have any records of him, or Vanessa at least says there aren't. It's possible that he could have been ruled missing or dead by the time Glamrock Freddy finds him, so it could explain that. Also, in the bad ending, the newspaper that Gregory uses as a blanket shows an article about missing children. One of the silhouetted children looks a lot like Gregory, and his hairstyle. Ice cream coincidence. In the 3-star ending of the game, the ending graphic shows Gregory, Vanessa, and Freddy's head all on a hill, with Vanessa and Gregory eating an ice cream. MatPat brought up the idea that the reason why Gregory is eating a Freddy popsicle is because it's meant to be symbolic to the bite of 83, going to the evidence that Gregory is a robot and that Vanessa is eating the same kind of ice cream Elizabeth ate. I think the majority would rule this as a coincidence though, and MatPat is probably really stretching to make this comparison. Squishies. This just refers to the squishable merch that was released alongside the Security Breach merchandise. Nothing really much else to say about this one.
What?
Venta Black. In the files of Security Breach, there's a scrapped remix of the track Venta Black from Sister Location. I'll play a sample of it here. The rest will be linked in the description if you want to listen to it in full. Why Freddy collapsed. It's unclear why Freddy collapsed in the beginning of the game, but the reliable theory is that he saw an intruder of some kind in the crowd. I could see it as possibly either being Vanny or Gregory, especially if the Gregbot theory is correct. How to Treat book. This was a first aid book that was inside a box, with the words How to Treat written on it. I tried to find the original Reddit post, but it kinda just vanished, so you need to really take my word for this one. 2006 animation room. So, look at this. Now look at this. Resemblance is pretty uncanny, isn't it?
Blacklight Slime. These are slime toys and were released on September 11th, 2020 for stores like GameStop and Hot Topic by Just Toys. They are blacklight colored slime materials sold in small plastic cans and come with lids shaped like Freddy, Chica, Monty, and Vanny. This is really the issue with modern FNAF. Level 15 doors. Some people were going around saying that there were level 15 doors. This, however, is not the case, and they don't exist in the code. Moon on all fours. In the sections of the game where the lights go out, Moon will stand on all fours waiting for you, to which he will then charge at you on his hands. Why he does this is unclear. They could be two separate animations, but I'm not sure. Dance animations were NFTs. This was a theory started by Kane Carter, where he said that the dance animations were mentioned earlier were going to be the officially licensed NFTs that Scott was going to make with Wax. However, it hasn't been confirmed by Scott, Steelwool, or Wax. 5020 High Score Remix. In the files of Security Breach, there was a scrap remix of the UCN 5020 Mode High Score song. I'll play a sample of it here, the rest will be linked in the description if you want to listen to it in full. Censorship reasoning. Security Breach was censored. It's fairly obvious and generally agreed upon that many things were taken out. Let's use Vanny's knife for an example. Vanny's knife was most likely cut for family-friendly reasons. Could this censorship, however, apply to Vanny as a character? Her lack of screen time is odd, which is worsened not only by her massive marketing presence, but also by the massive amount of cut voice lines and in-game material created for her. Much of the game seems rushed, but Vanny's screen time and presence appear to have been unceremoniously scrapped at the last minute. This begs the question, what happened to cause her character to be just about removed? Though this could be attributed to early deceptive trailers, I have another theory. Given that Security Breach appears to pander to a child-friendly audience, it's plausible that a higher-up found Vanny as a whole, not just her knife, to be too unsuitable, requiring a significant reduction in her screen time. This could be due to her being viewed as being too frightening, deadly, or even curvaceous for young children. One thing that supports this is how Vanny attacks you in the game, when the screen glitches and obscures your vision, making her very hard to see. And if that's the case, that sparked the dumbest theory in all of FNAF. No. Not you. No. Nah. No. Not what I meant. Yeah, there we go. In universe, this makes no sense, unless you're MatPat. But on a meta level, she's being censored from the player. This is just my opinion though. What do you guys think? Roxy's eyes are Foxy's. This theory has basically no merits. Foxy and Roxy are both similar animals and have the same eye color. That's it. Like, Foxy is the character with bad eyes and is also super sensitive to light. Why would the character with the super good X-ray eyesight have his eyes? Body pillows. I don't really want to talk about this much, but there's unofficial Security Breach body pillows. Now you might be asking, what separates this from regular unofficial merch? I mean, they're body pillows, man. That shouldn't be a question. The Roxy cult must be raving right now. How they made the Pizzaplex. The Pizzaplex is huge, like really big, like huge. It has lights, numerous restaurants, jaw-dropping attractions, sentient and advanced animatronic things. My only question is how? Fazbear Entertainment was big in the 80s, I guess, but then a lot of stuff in the timeline happened with the last establishment being burned to the ground. Did they make hundreds of billions of dollars off the VR game to be able to build the Pizzaplex? Where's the money coming from? Did Afton possess hundreds of people to dump their entire bank account into this pizza building? I just don't understand. Scott never retired. This is iffy. Scott has supposedly retired from this series, but all he's done is distance himself from the community. He's still working with Blumhouse on the movie, he's working with the Fanverse developers, he comments on Doco stuff, and he worked on Security Breach. Now to what level is unclear, as may have only served a producer role. However, it seems Scott is still working with the franchise in some way. Maybe less connected than he was before, but he's still there. So really, he only really retired from the community. Vanessa is a robot. Okay, bear with me here. Based on MatPat's little side argument that Vanessa is supposed to represent Elizabeth, what if she actually does, and she too is a robot? Although at a different time in her life, as we learn from the books that William is capable of doing so. It's also worth noting that Vanessa appears to be an older teenager or in her early 20s, so she would be the right age as to be Gregory's elder sister. I also find it strange that they have a totally automated security system run by animatronics, but they have a human night guard for some reason. In fact, there's a poster in the game that states how much better and safer it is to employ no humans. So why was Vanessa there? Especially by herself. Since we know Vanny is under William's control and it's been speculated / confirmed that Vanessa is Vanny, it's possible that William built her. Perhaps not with Circus Baby's endo because it's part of the Blob, but with an AI system designed to clone Elizabeth and then hire her at the Pizzaplex to find Gregory. This could just be William's final futile attempt to reunite his family. Roxy and Chica prove adult theory. For those who don't know about adult theory, well, look at this clip from my FNAF Iceberg video. I can't speak about this one too heavily but I'll say what I can. This was a theory actually started by Kane Carter / Popgoes in the lead up to Sister Location. Basically, he theorized that the animatronics in Sister Location are used for adult entertainment, with the animatronics being compared to, and I quote, robotic prostitutes. The main support he had was the schedule that was put together through the source code on ScottGames.com. Some of the lines in the trailer could have also implied some things, and people thought Balora's design was a bit sultry, for lack of a better word. Of course, now we know that the schedule that was put together was referring to renting the animatronics for birthday parties, and that they are just simple animatronic entertainers for children. Some people seem to think that Glamrock, Chica, and Roxanne Wolf were actually used for this purpose. Is it because they're girls? Is this an animal thing? I don't like this. There's really no basis to this theory, and I don't really want to keep thinking about it, so, moving on. Flipside leak. This was a fake leak of the purple hand monster from the trailer. It originated from 4chan in late July 2021. It's basically a fan model of what ended up being Burntrap, and in my opinion, a way cooler design. Another image was shown with the text, "Use the spirit from the flip side," which is why people call it the Flipside leak. The creator eventually stepped forward, stating they created the leak. Again, like I said, it's a very cool design that they really should have used. You know, if that guy was working with the studio, but you know. Arcade cabinet names. On the first Princess Quest arcade cabinet, there are these names. These names might tie in somehow, assuming these old arcades use the whole put your initials in to save your high score system. Let me know what you guys think this could be. This is all just speculation. FF is Freddy Fazbear. MG is Montgomery Gator. CC or GC, it's hard to tell. Could be Chica Chicken or Glamrock Chica. RW is Roxanne Wolf. FS could be Fritz Smith. GJ could be Gregory, no last name given. VL could be Vanessa or Vanny, who also has no last name given. RK and RY is unknown. FB could maybe be Fredbear, considering you can find some Fredbear's Family Diner posters in the game. Just thought I would throw it out there. Security Breach is a soft reboot. This basically says that Security Breach is a soft reboot, if that wasn't obvious. For those who aren't aware, a soft reboot is a continuation of an established movie series that ignores certain events from that series. Soft reboot is a loose definition. In this scenario, nothing is erased per se, but things have been moved on from. Security Breach barely ties back to the older games, as the older ones are simply video games in-universe. This was most likely altered to be accessible for a wider audience. It's nothing like previous games, and it's the first game to go this hard into the mainstream, which I'm sure was 100% intentional. So everything still happened, it's just that Security Breach is trying to tell its own story as opposed to continuing the story from the previous games. Security Breach is part of Dream Theory. We know someone has been sleeping in there. We don't know if it's Gregory or other kids, but you can't make up people's faces. You'd have to have seen someone with that face before. That means the crying child is none other than, get this, Gregory's own reflection, as remembered by his brain. Better yet, did you know that in FNAF 6 we get to see Susie's face? Well, guess what? Children have gone missing, and their pictures have been published in the press. The Freddy Fazbear's virtual experience was a dream from when Gregory, who we know to have been very keen on newer technology from how well he operates the Glamrocks, had an obsession with VR. Sister Location's living room only exists in Sister Location's dream sequence because Gregory found that room in Security Breach. FNAF's gameplay is based on the office sections of Security Breach and how they affected him after he left the Pizzaplex. I couldn't find proof, I could only find correlations that somehow make more sense than Gregory being a robot or a stand-in for the crying child, or both. How did he learn about the designs of the earlier animatronics, you could ask? How did he know there was a golden bear called Fredbear? How did he know there's a golden bunny? Boom. Plush Fredbear in FNAF 4 just represents Glamrock Freddy, and how both want to protect Gregory. This might all sound like a coincidence, but this is FNAF we're talking about, and Scott don't do coincidences. My point being, the entire FNAF franchise is a dream, except for Security Breach, which molds Gregory's perception of reality and made him dream the rest of the FNAF franchise. Vanny is a communist lost theory. This is bottom level stuff. There is a theory on the FNAF subreddit that was posted shortly after the game was released. It was gaining a lot of traction. Me and my friends had seen it. However, when I went back after putting it on the iceberg, it was gone. I found out that the post had vanished off the face of the internet. So this information will be recounted on from what me and the other people who've seen this post remember. The user tried to provide proof, but the theory sort of fell apart as it went on. His main points were that Vanny wants to kill people and that her eyes were red. Like communist colors. Yeah, I couldn't make this up if I wanted. But the thing is, this user, and by extension the post, have just vanished. No link, no Wayback Machine, no nothing. It really shows how something can go lost on the internet. It's insane how many people can see the same thing and it just disappears. You know, it gets you thinking. Who's to say that lost things like the Apollo 11 tapes, the pilot of the Backyardigans, the original FNAF 1 trailer, and yes, the Vanny is a communist theory, aren't already online, but are just hidden from us? Why are they hidden? Where do they go? Well, that's not my question to answer, because the world, or let's say, an alternate one, could be a mystery. And that was the 5 Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Iceberg. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe. Thank you so much to Daggz, Mr. Springs, and Jay for helping out with this video. You should absolutely check out their channels, and also, you should check out my 5 Nights at Freddy's Icebergs, and my Mario ones if you're interested. I make a lot of really cool Mario and FNAF content that you should absolutely check out. And yeah, I've been your host, Lil T, and I'll